do that, but it's not really what's happening. You know, and if you are able to do that, I love to see that, and then we work things a little different. But when you look at Bubka, you'd think when he finishes what people call a rock back, I call a swing up, you would think he'd be much further upside down, right? He's really not. Okay. That's because when he came through, he's working it all the way through here and up, not just trying to length the pole, other things going there. Now we're here. We finish a rock back. We come to here. I want to come right here. I want to make sure somewhat, and you can see another angle here, that a pole's on the inside of the pole. We're still not really affecting as much. I see some of you, when you come in and you do some of your straight pole drills, you just turn your elbow in there. To me, that's not always important. But when you get upside down, as you're starting to get upside down, that elbow has to be in there. But here we are here. Now, what's the next movement for him to do?
Start quartering.
Huh?
Start quartering around the pole.
No, he's got to extend.
That's what I mean. When he
As
he's gonna
you're going
extend
up.
and start wrapping around the pole.
Okay. Does he extend first, or does he turn first?
I'd say
You gotta extend.
both.
Both.
Need it.
You start at the same
Huh?
time.
Both.
Quarter and
Right.
extend.
Right. He's going to do it both at the same time. And this is an important concept. The reason why you need to turn around the pole. Now, for him, you don't see it quite as much as some of the other vaulters. There are certain things, efficiencies that he has there. But he will start turning slightly. And when he starts turning around the pole, why do you need to turn around the pole? Why do you need to start
You
turning?
need to be on this side of the pole, because if you're on the bar side of the pole, then you're just going to flag off.
Yeah, and that's what keeps your center of gravity, hips, behind the pole, so you can push down the shaft of the pole rather than against it. If you start coming through and you see people when you stay back and their back stays to the pole, they a lot of times will have problems where they just shoot back out because their hips start getting in front of the pole here. Now what's crazy is you see some of these female vaulters that actually, to me, almost get higher when they go straight up because they have so much flexibility and over on their back. You guys ever seen that? Melissa Price, Frontiers Jumping, those others. But that's because they have, you're talking about some people with some tremendous flexibility, and they still kind of kept their hips behind the pole, and they would get away with it a little bit. But in reality, you've got to turn around that pole so you can set yourself up so you stay behind it. And a great example of it, I always look at people, if you're going to make a mistake, what's more important, turning around the pole or extending up the pole? Huh? You think so? Anyone else disagree? Because again, you guys are an easy crowd. No controversy here. The problem is what happens is it allows you to turn around the pole, keeps your hips behind it. And if you created 90%, a lot of your energy is created underneath here. If we look at this picture here, watch what's happening here. We see him coming in at what? 9.7 meters per second. After takeoff, he's moving at 8.55 meters per second. As he's swinging up, at this point, he's at 4 meters per second. As he's extending up, he's at 5.6, and over the bar, he's at 1.8. So there's a huge slowdown effect going through there. We start losing our pole speed and coming through. So what happens is all our energy, you can see how much energy is underneath and through, and as they turn around the pole, at least you're able to maintain that. And I watched we watched that deal with Bill Payne, take off under, but tremendous flexibility through here, huge speed, and all his vault was this: swing, turn. And the guy goes 19, 2.5. Okay? So it's a good example. So we want to turn. A lot of times, if you have a hard time getting upside down, how many of you have a hard time thinking of getting inverted? Okay? I would guess most of the cases why you have a problem getting inverted is because of because you don't turn. I found people when they come up and they swing and they start to turn, they start to learn to turn, all of a sudden their hips start rising and they come up in a much better position. I would say that. I wouldn't be
I think I start turning too late. Like I extend first and then I turn.
And that's why,
My feet kind of drop.
see, what happens is what we want is a feeling of this. When you're coming through, you're swinging, and we want to swing up and through the vault. We don't want to swing back and then go. There is no what. What have I told you guys? There's no what in vaulting. There's no pausing. There's no stopping. There's no stopping movement of our body. If we come here and stop, guess what happens to the pole?
It's,
It's going to leave us, right? So we have to get ourselves in a point where we move up ahead of the pole somewhat with our hips and our body. And that's probably something. There can't be a better person than Buka on that. Period. Because you always see him so super extended right here, and the pole's still bent. Most vaulters you see where they don't get extended until the pole stops. That's why you see him. He gets so much efficient. He just flows right off the top. Okay? So, anyways, we see here. You see him come through. About right here, he's still moving up. It's just deceiving. Always looks back and up. But he's moving up. We just got the slow film. He's turning around the pole here and getting extended at the same time. So he's coming here like this, here. I see this a lot, especially when I was in Poland. A lot of people going thinking this, really close to your body coming through, where you think, okay, you get your back to the pole. But if you notice, as a person keeps this thing close and comes through, it starts turning your body around the pole as well. But we want to see you turn. First kid I ever had go 18 feet, he used to have that problem. He'd go straight up on his back like this, and then he'd go straight up and then try to turn. All we worked on when he vaulted, we started doing drills where we just crossed his foot over. He really didn't. But that was our only way to get him to do. So he'd cross and come through and come over. And that probably helped him probably the most in terms of being his first 18. So anyways, we're up, we come through, we extend, somewhat pirouetting through the vault here. At this point, I always think of it more like, ideally, it's like a power clean. We're here, boom, we're right up through here, and we're keeping the pole close, extending up, pirouetting around the pole, and then we get to the point where we're on. And this is one thing I don't like about looking at Buka here. He just flies off so soon, so we won't look at him. Corey didn't have that bad a technique here on the top. He gets pretty extended up.
So he's upside down when the pole's still bent.
Right,
So that's a
right.
good example
I'm
of that.
saying he had pretty good technique on top when he started getting going. I like this one. It wasn't as dynamic, but it definitely was clean. Olsen I thought was one of the best on top. Well, let's watch this one. This one you're gonna see where he stays down a little longer, really driving the pole through.
No, it wasn't. I'll never believe it, ever.
What?
Olsen was drugged up.
When you watch this here,
He makes that
Yeah.
no comment.
watch his arms. He's up through. We see the plant. You'll see him more of a tucking type ball when you come through when he swings.
He's got one of those
Yeah.
narrow grips that you
Right, very narrow.
like.
Okay, but here he is here. Now we're going to definitely see him. Watch him turn and extend through the vault. Look how much he turns around the pole.
Did he do it a little early though? Is he like extending a little early?
What did I say?
No pausing, I guess.
Right, right. I mean, if you can do this, that's what I'm talking about. It's great.
He's like,
What's interesting, the thing is, he extended, if he was late, where was he late at? If you guys watched it, anybody see it? Told you a little bit. What did he have to do? He tucked a little bit. So he has kind of you don't see this like big, powerful swing action. You see kind of a little bit of a hang and then kind of swing up for his turn. But no, he gets turned around. I always like this ball here. I watch his other ones here.
So he's not tight with his left arm upside down then.
Watch it here. Just a second. Go ahead. Watch this part. Reaches up. You don't see, because those arms, I don't see as much rowing as maybe I see a Buka, so you get a little bit of tuck action. Okay, go ahead.
How tight is he? How tight is he here pulling up? So he's not
I thought
going
he was
straight up.
very tight, but again, it's here like this. We're coming up through. But what's interesting is when you start watching, it's the image of when you're coming through, keeping the pole tight to your body and coming through. But what I like to watch, and it gets real complicated, I like telling you that, but when you look at vaults from another angle, you don't really see the pole up close
You're
to the
turning
body. You
as
see
you're-
a little different, and actually you see a different bend action too. You see this little whip action at the top. But the key is that kind of feeling of lifting, feeling yourself coming up, turning up around the pole, acting like you're getting the pole close to your body and coming through. But the concept I'd like to get to when we get to turning is what we call staying on the runway side of the pole. Very important. And what we're going to see, we definitely see him staying where? Where's his head and body?
Runway side of the pole.
Very far on the runway side of the pole. It's a kind of exaggerated turn action. Everything's there on the runway side. Why do we need to be on the runway side of the pole?
Because your legs will fall away if you don't. You just fall away from the pole.
Okay. Why?
Because you
a
don't have any
point of
kick.
balance.
You don't have anything to, you know, you can't pull in the shaft straight up the shaft of the pole, like you said earlier.
Because you're moving this way, and if you're on this side, you're gonna come here instead of here.
Well, the big thing is, we got to it a little bit on the shaft. We want to be pushing down the shaft through a whole ball. We don't want to be pushing against the shaft of the pole. Okay. So what happens is, if we turn, when we go on the runway side of the pole, that's why I didn't want to look at Bubka, because Bubka is in a different world. He's flying off the end of the pole. He's already complete. He doesn't have to finish on the runway side of the pole because he's not ever putting pressure on the pole. He's gone before it happens. And sometimes I think that's why I don't know. Bubka never seemed as good over the bar as some of the. I think some of these guys get a little more efficient. I honestly believe Bubka puts enough power in there to go much higher than what he had. And I guess that was always the thing with him, is that everyone knew he could jump much higher, but he had to go centimeter by centimeter to collect the dollars. You know, like it always seemed he'd always stop, and it always seemed like there were days where he probably could go 20 feet 6 or maybe even 20. It seemed like. But anyways, when you're coming through, we want to get down so we get on the shaft of the pole. Purpose behind that, if we get away from the pole and we're pushing against the pole this way, what's going to happen? If I push this chair and I go like this, and I want to go, I'm going here, I'm pushing back, trying to get my body. If I push against here, what's going to happen to my body? Okay? I'm going to go where? Forward and down. What's going to happen to me over the pole bar?
Forward and down over the bar.
Yeah, I'm going to come up a little shorter. If I'm not continually pushing down the shaft of the pole, what's going to happen is, as you get more and more experience, one of the things you get, the reason you get to hold higher is because you're starting to learn how to work down the shaft of the pole. What's the thing you do when you stall out? What are you told to do? What's the most important thing you should do when you stall out and you're dangerous? Do what?
Hold on to the pole.
Hold on to the pole. Why?
Because that's the only thing that's connecting you to the ground.
So most of the time, even though you feel stalling out, you hold on. A lot of times, most of the time you're stalling out, it'll still get you in the pit a little bit if you just be patient and work with it, right? That's why. Or you'll find a spot to go. And that's one of the reasons here is when we go here, as you start working down the shaft of the pole and start working it, you're going to need your standards a little deeper. You're going to need yourself where you're getting a little farther and deeper in the pole pit, and you'll have everything set up. And so going down the shaft of the pole is very, very important
Right.
for your whole action here.
Ryan.
And you'll find yourself being able to hold higher and do things because you're able to get in the pit. Okay? So again, if I see here, I'm going to fall. What else is going to happen if I push against it? I will not get rotation at the top of the pole, because what will happen is I push against, my chest doesn't have a chance to finish its rotation over the bar. Okay? And that's where a lot of times you'll see, you know, if I'm going like this here, now my chest is going to fall, and I don't lose that super hip action coming up over it. Okay?
So this is one of your vaulters right here?
No, this is Catalan.
Oh.
This is the practice.
How high did he go?
19.9 was his best. This is just doing short approaches at 17.8. Okay. Oh, good on. Your buddy. But I'll tell you, what do you think? You know, for the most part, I like Joe Dial's jumps, man. I thought he had some great looking jumps there.
He's pretty wide grip, isn't he?
A little bit, but not too bad. A little different jump, but I just always like, look at the way he's turning around the pole, coming up through, down the shaft.
Oh my god.
Said what's
Whoa.
not.
What was his best?
A real best?
Yeah. What do you mean?
What was his best? 19.6? Yeah.
Need some change.
But he used to be the steady bar man, though. He was really good. But look at his trail leg on this jump. Look at him swinging as he comes through.
Push off.
Look at the energy he gets. How tall is Joe Down?
5'8". Yes.
See here.
Yeah, he sucks up his trail leg a
Now,
lot.
why are the standards like that?
Well, they were set up where the standards would drop back.
Like, go back to Hot Song. Is that bad when he sucks up his trail leg like he does? You notice that? Like he
Where,
sucks up
man?
his
Tucking.
watch.
Yeah.
He sucks up his trail leg real early.
When he gets right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's at your point. There's either a long, you get a little powerful swing. There has to be at some point you shorten your body. And sometimes for some, if they have that swing come through, if he whips through, I think that'd be a lot better. But sometimes when you do that, it becomes too slow. And you have to come through. Something has to shorten up and rotate here. And so some you'll see a little bit more tuck, a little bit more, but he created a lot of energy here. I still think it would be better if he kept it straighter and kept coming through. Broke his hips.
You gotta keep the pole band a little longer.
Well, yeah. But notice here, look at this, how much time he is
Well,
taking
he's
to
about
get
to
into his
fail.
position here as a result.
He lost a
Yeah.
lot of momentum.
And he's
The
not
pole's
continually
going up so
moving up
much.
the pole as fast as
Well,
moving.
hence the reason he's only jumped 19.4.
But also, I'll throw something in there, he's experienced, there's a certain amount of, not pausing, but a little bit of patience, allowing the pole to do certain things, because he's definitely not bringing as much speed in.
His pole extends a lot faster than everyone else's.
Right, it's
in-
already
in the
straight.
middle of his
here.
ball.
Yeah.
Now, what were you gonna say about those standards? Why they look like that?
Well, instead of moving the standards back and forth here, they move up and back here.
Pretty smart.
Some new ones coming out like that.
Now,
Huh?
did he stay on the
I don't
running side
like
of the
cement.
pole?
Not,
I don't like the look
Yeah,
of
he.
it.
but they're making some. There's some companies that are making those in the U.S. now.
What
They're playing with those
It's hard to
concepts.
see if
What makes him fire off the end of his pole so much? Because he looks like he gets away from his pole a lot more than a lot.
Just a swing up drill. That's fine. If I can do it, you can do it, even though I'm hurt. Good, that's decent, that's good, that's good.
Could I try to drive it?
That hurts you some, Bert. Not bad.
Well, you should have wore sunscreen.
Nice. You shut up.
I thought you had a tan from Texas.
Yeah, just go ahead and stay top. Go ahead and rotate up, but I'm really watching just your plan for the swing.
I know, but he's already done enough of that.
Just to see where your rotation is. Alright, that shows you. Well, it's all your takeoff. You're not really taking off. Here we go.
Learn him. Huh? Learn him.
Yeah. Alright. Hey, Tom? Alright, here's the thing we want to do. You're going to go over to this pit, and we watch these two. Here's the thing, I want to do these a couple more times. One thing you should feel like if you're doing is where the pole, the pole meets you. A plant. Okay. But when I swing fast enough, what I want to do is reach up and swing fast enough for me to be on top of the pole and meet the pole. So I'm up here, I'm going to swing up fast enough, I'm up. And then come down, okay? Resting on top of the pole. Go ahead, and that's what I want to see. Reach and rotate, rotate.
Hey, Coach. Coach.
Yeah.
I don't know how everybody else feels, but instead of say some of us, you single us out.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna take it.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. I saw a couple that did it really, most of you are doing it right. And then I'll grab you and tell you if you're not.
Okay.
Like I just saw one here I'm going to grab and then go from there. On you, I need you to rotate up. When you come back, your leg gets caught on this side. I want your leg, your trail leg, to swing up behind you and behind the pole. Okay? Not bad, not bad. A little faster on your swing this time, okay? Whip. Once you reach, you can pause a little bit, reach up, and then whip. That was better that time.
Can you whip it? Right. Can you whip it?
Much better. Much better. Here we go. You know, that was better. You know, you got your knee up on that. That's what I said. Drill watch, your plan to take off was better. Here we go. Not bad. Hold just a little bit higher so you can get up there just a little bit. You know, I feel like you don't have time to do that. You know what?
Yeah, I never.
I love this one. You got a good swing, rotate, up and pull. You have that drill down.
Do we have any tape? Do we have any tape?
On for the ride.
Hey,
Not bad. Thank you. Whip the ball. A little more whipping. You understand? Okay. It's good. I like how you did it. That's not bad. Really? All right. Hold a little bit higher.
Thank you.
Yeah. Coming up, whipping through, that looks good. You know, I missed that one. I'll grab it here.
I see you kind of do two kinds of jumps here. Sometimes you run yourself under a little bit, and you still recover.
It's like I like getting me pictures.
Best jumps come when you put yourself in a position to move that pole right away, and everything else is going to happen a little sooner. You know what I mean? Have a good straight line here. Sometimes I see you do that just awesome. And other times you do that.
You know, actually, it's almost a point for some of you guys. I wouldn't mind. You feel like if you let go, you do a backflip off the pole. We're not going to do that.
How did volume was? Top there is 15, 16, 40, like 44 feet. Yeah, that's where 44 feet is. It's right there. At the state meet.
Reach up, then rotate. Reach up, then rotate. Reach up, then rotate.
Everybody else was doing rock back and blows over. 15-6. A bar and everything. In the meet, he ran from right here.
Still hold low. A little higher. Reach. Rotate up.
Don't try to do too much.
No, I was
All right.
off that time. Very nice.
See if this was it.
Not bad. Not bad. We're good. We're good. Actually, a lot of you are doing a lot better than I thought. Much better. There you go. You feel that whipper. What I want you to feel is feel that whipper. It feels like the pole's going to come out of the box because you have so much
I
lift.
wouldn't. I don't know.
Okay, here we go. What do you leg, rotate
I'm trying to
up.
run, but even there,
Look, I would take these. You got kind of a slow.
you
You got good takeoff. You get just kind of slow. I don't know how much. Here we go. Whip, rotate. I want to see some energy ripping through that pole.
Dude, we gotta tell Jackass, like, you guys want to try to pull more?
Better.
oh, man.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
That would be. That would be the best one. They'd get killed though.
Okay, this one is gonna be the best one.
I swear, they just like kind of bend the first run. Yeah,
roller
yeah, do it on roller blades, like going down a hill.
Do it from a motorcycle.
Oh, that's better.
This thing, the airport's
Just a little bit full whip right through here.
Move it like that.
Right now you're going here, pulling your leg. And then we'll see if we can put the two drills together. We only have a few minutes here. But this gets a little complicated. I call this is a way to learn to get on the runway side of the pole. And it's a weird drill. I call it swing to hand. Okay? Now, the thing is, I want you all to first take away convention. Don't think rock back. You just did another drill. I want you to say, oh, put that off to the side. Okay? What you're going to do is so simple, it's unbelievable. But I will say, most of you probably won't get this right off. What you're going to try and do is put your head on the runway side of the pole, and you're going to go just like this.
Oh, I do this.
You're just going to do a plant. You're going to reach. Just whip a little bit with your swing, and then you're just going to turn. And the thing I want you to do is you have to be, when you finish, right here on this side of the pole.
Do you land on your belly?
You'll land on your feet.
Oh, I land.
Okay?
This is like what we do over the bungees.
This is how it happens. It's real simple. Sometimes it's best if you have a real narrow grip in the early part of it, that you're just going to go like this. Here. And you're just going to turn like this. Remember, get what you thought of. I'm not rocking back, I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is turning with my head on the runway side of the pole. It's very much like this. This is all you're gonna do. You're gonna go here and just turn. That's it. And then I'll show you some variants on that. Here we go.
I'm gonna do it wrong first.
Do is just turn. Okay, can I get on the runway side?
All right.
Don't try to rock back. Did you get on the runway side? Hold a little lower. Hold a little lower. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Here we go. All right, we're trying too hard. Hold a little lower if you have to. Low grips are good. Put your pole up against this little metal part. You're going to swing up. You're here like this. You swing up and you just turn. You swing, you just turn. That's it. Like keep your body on this side of the pole. You're here, boom. Here, boom. That's it.
You've done those,
Think of guitar today. Like that. Here we go.
Yeah, Devin, perfect.
Good job, Devin.
Yeah, coach. Like maybe like this.
Very much so. Very good. Sometimes it's good.
Yeah, because I'm gonna hold right here.
Right? Go like this. Lean back.
I'm gonna hold really low.
Hold a little low. You'll need some speed. Hold just about like this narrow. Okay? The narrower the better.
If you have normal poles, go by the best grip sticker.
There you go. Here we go. Narrow grip. What we're going to try to do on these narrow grips is I want you to swing and try to whip your feet up and turn real fast into that position. Okay? Don't try to think rock back then turn. Just do what you were doing earlier to get in that position. Just create a little more energy.
Can you show us real quick?
Energy real quick.
We
See if I can do it good.
So you want us to kind of throw ourselves?
There you go here.
You want us to throw ourselves, kind of?
Fly time for reach. Boom. And I'm creating enough energy. Now I keep practicing. I get a little more speed. I will swing up and literally get a feeling of just pushing off at the end.
Oh, so it's kind of.
Okay? It's kind of strange. Eventually your hips will get really high on this drill. Don't. Stay with the pole. You rock back too much right now. You're not ready for a rock back yet. Good. That wasn't bad.
Hey, chip up.
exactly what it
Chip
is.
up.
He understands it.
Huh?
I thought it looked good.
Not bad.
He wants
There
to
you
go
go.
through the back of the
Point. Eventually, they're making you into is pretty good straight pole holders here. We can make you go over a bar. Good. Keep going. Now notice when you get in trouble and you lose the poles when you're out of here. Pull it through here. If you guys have problems, here's a good little workout now. Let me tell you what the next step is. Getting a little late. Here's a little workout. And this is kind of, you lean back on your pole like this, and you just reach, really fall back, extend. Here you are here, and you come through, and you pull through. Fall back, pull through. Fall back, pull through. You can do that. Do it anywhere, yeah.
No, but slide on the floor. Have you
I keep letting go. I keep wanting to let go.
We did that one time. We were really bored. We thought we made it.
You're right here. I've decided
Whip.
I'm not
and
jogging
turn.
on this one. I'm going to race walk this thing.
Good.
We're going to fall on your
Pole bends out.
So much more energy.
Sit.
You do gymnastics.
Yeah.
You complete the pop-up.
And how you it all comes
That
down.
won't really get them on top.
I got way
Yeah, you got your arms away.
Not so that you're limiting your speed.
Hey, Mark.
It's a weird drill. I call it swing the hand.
Mark, you're sure I saw
That's pretty good. You almost got a push off it. Notice, if I told you guys to rock back, extend up, and do a push off, you couldn't do it. But now you can. Now you can actually take. You can actually do a straight pull with a bar above your hand.
Hey, Coach.
Because of that.
You walk in real quick. You know what I mean?
He said sweetheart. Sweetheart.
Oh, shit. I need you to get right here.
Call him sweetheart.
Turn. Flip turn.
What do I need to get?
Trying to get further back.
Oh,
Yes.
Like this. Now you went here, and you went. Keep it here.
Keep it close.
Exactly. Oh, so close. Now look, if you want to get that, really get a super push.
I don't know.
I don't know. Come on. You want to come across our body. Cross our body through. Good one. Oh, you could have finished it.
Okay, when he's not looking.
All right, now let's do this. Now what I want y'all to do is you're going to go just like this. You're going to do a swing up in the force you had like you're doing a rock back. But do not stop on your rock back. In fact, you do this the best. You swing up and at least get extended. I want you to extend around the turn and pull. And actually, Coach Williams, do your swinging hand again the way you did. That was actually it. He traveled across the ball. I want you to get a feeling of a full ball. See if you want to do that. See that? You guys, he's going up full motion of swinging, getting through, and he's getting the image of the feeling as if he's going, it's a feeling of as if you're going down the pole this way, but you're actually going out. By keeping the pole on your runway side. If you were able to go straight up and come through because you have enough energy, that's great. But you're going to swing up in that rock back feeling, but don't rock back. You don't actually rock back in the ball. You don't stop. You come here and extend up and turn. Stand up, turn through. Go.
What you were doing.
You got it. Do it.
Keep it real simple. The thing we're trying to get is all the stops out,
Just going to turn drill there now.
that your ball just goes flying. You know, we're taking our energy here, and we want to take as much of the energy through to come
Now
put it
you
out
finished
there.
here.
Yeah,
Would it
push
feel
off.
good? Oh, okay. Strip that a little bit more.
Kind of, sort of.
So he said everything was right. I just need to, because I finished
Do
it
that.
here.
You're holding really high. Hold down about kind of like follow through. Woo! Man, who was that guy?
Look like Huffman finished.
Animal! That's what I'm talking about.
I ain't seen nothing yet.
Ooh.
I'm not getting that.
Ooh.
That's gonna hurt a few minutes.
Oh, it's gonna look
You're
like
close.
hurt.
You're close. A little more energy to get there.
Alright.
Keep going through it. You're close. You're good.
Just when I lower your grip, I'm trying to generate more speed.
Okay, he's gotta be watching.
That felt good.
Hey, Coach,
There
can
you
you
go.
watch
He's
it?
starting to get it a little bit.
If that wasn't on film,
There we go.
Oh, now you didn't turn through there. You got up there pretty good. You got right here. You also you didn't extend turn through there.
Catch
You
the ball,
went
pull. You did what you just
here. Right.
did. About like it was caught and fell over.
Oh, yes,
Shell
there.
me a lot more energy.
Yeah, we're getting there now. Now this thing, at first you're going out, working up. That's our goal.
so we're trying to get the feeling of doing that.
Create a feeling of what a full vault feels like. We're here, we're rowing, we're coming through, we're hitting, we're turning. And when we're using all our muscles, if you ever notice when you do straight pole drills, you know, you either got to rock back, you got to extend, the things you warm up on straight pole drills, one I always like them for taking off. You get, if you feel hammered when you do a straight pole drill, then you know you're not taking off correctly and playing. That's one benefit. Next thing is when we're getting upside down, we did the one drill to plant, reach, and then really whip. That was to teach us how to swing, Now if we're on a pole, it's almost, I always think of it like this. We hit, we get our little bend feeling, and then we whip. What happens is if we whip the same way we did there, the pole will absorb that swing part of it, and we'll go wham, and we'll snap up through, okay? So that's why we do that drill. The other drill was to learn, a lot of you, how to turn. And the thing is, you can see, if you turn correctly and whip up through, you can get on the side. But I was trying to create a feeling where you felt yourself coming across your body and coming through, because when you're straight pole like that, you don't have enough speed. If you rock back and then try to go, it's too slow, isn't it? You can't do it. You're too heavy. So I was trying to give the sensation of what it's like to get on the runway side of the pole and stay in that position. In fact, when we do this drill, what we'll do after a while, you can put a bar up and start seeing how high you can go doing this. At first, you just learn how to whip and turn, whip and turn, whip and turn. But first, we're kind of going like this. We're whipping and going out. But what I'm trying to do is take you through a progression where the whip comes through and you'll get hot. You'll go here, here, more power here, more power, boom. And then I see people getting tremendous push-offs just doing straight pull drills because they learn how to turn and they learn how to swing through. And it's a good little exercise, strength, everything to learn how to do that. So that's what we're working on there. Then some of you, when you really get advanced, is when you do rock. You do get kind of your rock back without a stop. You come up and you really push up the shaft and you learn where that all is. So we put those things together to get a feel for the ball. There's one other drill that's a little more complicated. I'll show you. We won't do it. I like because it kind of mimics more of the bend feeding. I call it reach, shoulder pull, extend. And that's basically what I do the timing because it feels like a full ball. So it's here, I go here. Usually what I have to do is I have to get a little stall action. I don't know if I can do it here, but I'm here, come through. There we go. Reach, shoulder pull. Yeah, I couldn't get it. My pole was moving too fast. Time it out. Reach, shoulder pull, shoot. I almost got it. But the thing is, it's a drill where I go through that. Eventually I get up, it teaches me the timing of the ball. I learn to reach, I work, just like you do a full ball. Then I rotate upside down, then I extend, explode. And it gives you feet involved. That one take a lot longer to learn. I didn't demonstrate it the best, but there's a way to do it. And what you do is you do straight pull drills just to learn little things to give you a feel for the ball. Do they look like the ball? Not completely. It's just to give you the feeling of the timing of things. What does it feel like here on a reach? What does it feel like here to rotate? What does it feel like this to turn around the pole and come off? Those are things we're working with those. All right, just quickly, before we go, anybody, just tell us, you guys have other drills you do, straight pull drills?
We go through a progression. Like first, like when we go in here, I'll do it real quick.
Okay, go.
Like we'll go from like 15 or so.
Uh-huh.
And so I go like this. Get to your ankles.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that one, you go to this. And then from that, you go to a quarter, then to a flyway. And then we do that same thing and get like a real light pull. And so you bend, it drag more like this. And then get a little bit more stiffer, so now you're going out this way. The whole deal is try to get on. So you go from real light, where you're on your bigger pulls going up.
But you know, really that progression wasn't much different than what we really just did. In a way, especially the turn part coming through. Just kind of a different way of getting it there, but that's correct. That's a good little, and other drills too. You guys, anything, we had the turn, we see people come up, just extend, turn, get used to getting close to the body, extending. People, have you ever done flips? They're kind of fun.
Yeah.
The reason I like flips, well, we won't do them with you here, is they teach you how to reach, swing, and then learn how to rotate really fast. So you learn how to swing and you get a little more energy and speed, you know. But they're fun, they're fun. What other drills? Any others?
I've never done like straight pull drills. I just get like a really, really small pull and so it bends for me. So I learn to do it with the bend. And I do like one left, two lefts, three lefts. I work my way back and slowly go up pulls. You know.
Okay, just doing a little short, full ball things. Any other kind of just weird straight pull drills?
You go for height.
One arm drills, we talked about those. And actually, what's kind of fun to do on one arm drills is go one arm and then row yourself upside down and even over a little, try to clear some bars with it. Reach up, row, come through.
I think that even learning to do backflips is good. It gets
We
that
used
whip
our left
action.
arm.
That's what I'm saying,
We ran up like
backflips are
this.
very good for
And we
rotation.
jumped,
You don't fall.
we grabbed during the jump.
But actually, that's important. You're going to go long, rotate.
working that. Gallop, 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 gallop through. Okay? A lot of things you can work on, but the straight pole, the key to straight pole is one, is you can't, there's more forgiveness on a bending pole. A straight pole doesn't have as much forgiveness. That's good. Two, you can mimic things, it's different. It's not the same as a fiberglass. You have to work a little harder to do things and things so you can get some things together. So lots of little drills. Anything else? All right, let's put our poles away. Let's put the covers on the pit.
In terms of technical training or preparation, the big thing we're trying to work for is we're trying to jump high, right? Okay. What's our other goal besides jumping high? Staying healthy, that's a good one. I like that. Staying healthy. So we want to jump high. Okay, high, healthy. You like consistent?
Yes, we like that a lot.
Okay. What else?
Safe.
Huh?
Safe.
Safe, healthy. Okay. What else?
And good looking.
Some of you, that's a real hard goal.
I know, I'm working at it. I got those short terms in there and working for that long term.
You want to improve. You want to improve? We can kind of say improve. We're looking high. You're missing one part of this all.
Technically sound.
We're pretty close. We want to be technical. We'll top that. We'll put that in our high. Healthy. I think health is really good. We'll put that in our high. It's all part of things that get into getting high.
Have
Okay.
fun.
Have fun. Well, fun. Sounds like a pretty good one. I like that. I like that. Having fun. Maybe put in there motivated with it, right?
Getting the ladies.
Alright. Having the rewards that come with it, all right. All the perks. Okay? You're missing something.
Is it big? It's probably the most important. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you working towards? What's your goals?
Be successful.
Perfection.
Perfection. I like that. We'll put that in the high.
I
Healthy,
will
consistent, fun.
Stanley in there.
It's good. It's good. What is your goal?
I got them right here. Technique, speed, timing, all that.
There you go. Those are good. Those are part of it. Your goal is
No, that's
it
what
just
To
to
win.
jump high?
To win.
Is it just to be consistent?
To win.
To win? We're close now. Win what?
The Olympics.
Is that some of your all goals?
To be the best
That's
you
the
can
benefit.
possibly be.
Okay. Win the Olympics?
To set the world record.
Okay. That's important. Win the Olympics. What
The
else?
Russians.
Beat the Russians.
Achieve your
I think you guys are really good. You're close right there by the win part. All right. We want to be able to, and probably the whole thing is we want to be able to compete, be competitive, I guess,
achieve all our goals.
achieve it all. But right there, we're putting something together. Compete, get high. Compete, get high.
It's a great plan. Go to school.
What do you say? Oh man. Come on, come on. It's the most simplest thing here. You came close. I gave you guys the biggest hint in the world. Everything. Okay? I gave it to you. I put these two things together.
You want to be a champion?
Want to be a champion? I like that. I like that. That's part of it. Compete, be high. Compete, you know.
Win.
Number one.
Best five pound.
Number one.
Yes, sir.
But here's the thing. Here's the whole thing. I want to get high. When? When do I want to get high?
When it counts.
On the day.
The big deal.
When it counts. That's right. When it counts. That's what everything's about, to be honest. You know, there's certain things, consistency, that's good. Healthy, consistency to go together, all these things, but I want to do it when it, what?
Counts.
When it
Dimitri
counts.
Martin.
The right time. I want to prepare myself for the right time. Okay. Now, for some of you, what's the right time? How many high schoolers we have in here? Okay. When's the right time?
State.
Indoor and outdoor championships, national championships, state meet.
But I would probably say in high school, the most important meet you have is your state meet. Nationals and all that, they're kind of peripheral. Now, for you, that may be the most important. That may be your goal. High school, pretty much state. College,
National championship.
NCAA championships. You have indoors and out for that. Right. Okay. Now, for some, at first, it may be their, for us, sometimes you go conference championship, national championship. That's it. Okay. Now, post-collegiate, what are you pretty much looking at? And maybe in college too.
Olympics.
A world championship team,
World championships.
the Olympics, those type of things. That's right.
University.
So the thing is, and this is something that's always an interesting one to me, is this consistent thing.
That's where you get the money.
It's probably true. Probably true. But the thing is, you have to set first what some of those priorities are. There's certain things you want, and what you want is, I think, if you're looking at your ultimate goal right now in high school, your goal right now would be to win the state title. And that means if you go through a regional system, you go something like that, you pretty much got to start looking at one meet at a time. You got to prepare for yourself. You got to do everything you can to build up towards that moment. Nationals, next year we have to get a qualifying mark indoors. Outdoors, you got to be ready for the regionals. This whole group will probably be already qualified for the regionals. You don't really have to worry about that much. What you have to do is be qualified. You have to be ready to go with the regions, okay? And be ready to go at nationals. And that regional concept is not much different than the national championships at a USA championships to go to what? To a world championship, make some sort of international team, or those others. But right now, pretty much this group is looking at two things. First, you have your long-term goals, years down the road, Olympics, world championships, those type of things. Shorter-term goals right now become state meet, national championships. That's what we hope to get here. Even shorter than that, maybe learning to prep ourselves technically and physically to jump high. The thing is, we look at the moment, look at the right time, and this is real important. We have to prep ourselves to do that, so we jump high when it counts. And jump high if we jump high early in the season, and we're the greatest athlete. What's more important to you? And this is something you have to ask. What's more important to you? A gold medal or a world record? What would be more important?
World record.
Interesting.
That's not what you wanted to hear. Right?
No, and it's up to you.
But if you have the world record, you'd have the gold medal.
No,
That's
not
just-
Sergey Bubka. Sergey Bubka only got
What
one
is
gold
more
medal.
important? What is more important? A world winning a gold medal or getting a world record? Most of you, I heard world record. But there is
I think
something,
it's
I'll tell you.
especially
What?
true- I think that's especially true in the vault because it's been there for so long. And it's so. It's
This one's
such a-
pretty special, but they kind of come and go and other things. I'll tell you one thing though. For me, I'd rather have the gold medal, but that's my philosophy.
People that don't pole vault don't care
Yeah.
about the world record. They want to see you bring the gold
And
medal
I'll tell
back
you
to
why.
America.
But that's fine. The world record's great. World record's great. Okay. But I think if you talk to certain people, one of my best bud, Billy Olson. Okay. Billy Olson made all kinds of world records indoors. I know it'd be interesting to talk to him. I think, if anything, I think he'd trade all those world records
Not if you still had it.
to win a gold medal.
Not if you still had it.
'cause
I'd
they
have a
got
hard time, man.
I think
That
Coach is
seems-
right.
'cause they got
I'm telling
broken.
you, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
just philosophical.
I changed my mind. I want to go.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
World records come and go, but nobody can take away your championship. Think of that.
You were the best.
And the thing is, it's part of what we're about. We're about, and it's interesting, we're about competing. That's what this is all about, is competition. Measuring ourselves. What's great about our sport and about pole vaulting, we get to measure against ourselves a lot. But in reality, true competition is a measurement of our abilities against others. and to have the ability to measure ourselves against other under the same conditions, under the same situation, and see who comes out the better but not the better person, but the better competitor in that situation. And that's what it's all about. We're in a competition. The heights was somewhat secondary. They're a part of it. Go ahead.
What about thinking, like you may have the gold medal, and you may have beaten like 6 other guys, but if you have the world's record, you're better than everybody in the world of all time.
I think another way to look at this, because I talk about this with athletes I work with, is you get into a national championship, and I'll tell them, you get ready for any day, any condition. Because I said, which would you rather choose to happen? Would you rather get 8th place in a competition at a PR, or walk home with a championship? No one's going to look back and remember. Well, that guy was 8th place and he jumped 18.6. But there's been national championships that won at 18 foot. Easy, 17-11 and a half indoors this year, and no one's going to remember. You know, they remember who the champion was. And when you look at it that way, that's a way to look at it, you know, having height in the same competition.
Well, here's the thing. What do you call yourself when you win state?
State champion.
What do you call yourself when you win nationals?
National champion.
What do you call yourself when you win worlds?
World champion.
What do you get when Olympic Games?
Gold medal.
Who's the best?
The Olympic.
Okay. Well, the
On that
Olympics
day.
has become the
On that
biggest
given
thing.
day.
But
On
in
that
reality,
given day. On that given
in
day.
reality, in your state, you win the state title. Who's the best?
You are.
Because you were consistent to get
It's
there.
not the person who jumped the highest.
It's the person who was
It's the
jumped
person who jumped the highest at that competition is the best. Period. That's it. Can't look. One of the greatest athletes of all time in Olympic history was a guy named Al Orr. How many gold medals did he win?
Wasn't it 3 or 4?
I'm trying to remember if he even ever held a world record. I'm trying to think if he did. But it seemed like every Olympic Games, the guy
Last
was
throw,
he was ready to go, and he's a legend for it. I couldn't even tell you those years who was the all the time. I can't tell you who were the world record holders.
How many years is career left?
Who?
I mean, you won those Olympics.
World record when it counts. Greatest thing ever, greatest performance ever would be to get a gold medal and a world record at the same meet. That would be it. That'd be the ultimate. For me. Okay? Getting a gold medal and getting a world record, all those things. You got to prepare yourself first to jump high before you can get to that level. It may take you, because of the way you compete and do things, to be able to jump jump 20 feet for you to get a gold medal. It may take all that. In terms of not at that meet, but have that ability to do that.
Well, the swimmers do that every Olympics.
Yeah.
They double. They set the world record and get a gold medal.
But the thing is, here's the deal. We're trying to prepare you to peak. So our training is very, very important. It is what determines how this is done. And that's why your training has to be set up in different parts of it. I'm not going to get super technical with you in terms of what we call our phases and all those type of things. But basically, you have to put in the work. And let me get one more facet here as we go. This is the way life is. This is the way life is. You want something great. It's called the law of training. What's the law of training, basically? Physical training. What is it? All right, let's say you want to bench press. What's your best Mr. Keller powerlifting program there? What do you need to do? If you want to bench press 325, what do you have to do?
Raise your level of weight.
What?
Strength. Raise your level of
You
strength.
have to get into a pyramid workout. Maybe
Well,
go
where's
10.
what's your previous
You
max?
have to be a beast.
All right, let me tell you. What's strong? Yeah, what we have what we call the theory. I think everything you can look at training, kind of look at weights to determine it.
You can.
We have the process of what we call what happens. How do you get stronger?
go
You
through
work
the
out.
cycles.
Yeah.
You break your body
Tear your
down.
muscle down.
You break your body down. You must tear it down to build it up. You know, that's a law of life right here. I'm telling you right now. You get nothing in life that's worthwhile without some sort of hard sacrifice. Adversity and sacrifice is a way of life. Okay? That's the way it is. Nobody goes through life and gets something meaningful without having to go through some pain and suffering to get there first. It's the way it goes. It's the law of life to me. Nothing. Okay? And you know you have friends out there you think they get everything and they get this. But the basic laws, but meaningful things in life, truly meaningful, are those that make the sacrifice. You can't get something without breaking something down. That's the rule. Okay? That's it. So what you have to do, you have to go through a certain process of what we call overloading the body, tearing it down to build it up. And so you have to, but you also have to do, it can't happen that simple. You just can't go out and hit big weights and do those things. You have to do a lot of preparation, because what happens is you can't do something called too much. There's only so much sacrifice, so much hardship your body can take. All right, you can't. The body's, so you have to. You can train too hard. You can work too hard. That's the thing. So you have to. There's a certain balance to everything we do. So first we go through what we call a preparation phase. We have to do some general training. Okay. Usually for, let's say, a college athlete, we're looking in the fall for that. Even though we're doing some of that in the summer and things. I'll talk about summer. Basically, we're looking at fall, winter, spring. During the general preparation phase, we're doing just that, general work. We're working the full body. We're not doing things in the beginning at a very high intense level. Not too much. Okay? What we're trying to do is get the body prepped for what?
Intense.
For more training. That's all we're doing. We're prepping the body. And probably, I'll tell you right now, probably it could be as high as 75%, 80% of our training is to train us to train better. You understand?
No.
Okay? Because what we're trying to do is prepare our body to handle the real training. We spend a lot of time doing tons of training, physical training, to get ourselves there. There's only so long you can sit there and go overload the body constantly. You have to do a lot of preparation work. So during this time, just in a nutshell, this is the time when you put things that are maybe lower intensity, but higher volume. But, this is important too, volume meaning number of reps and things. But that is a gradual process to increase the volume, okay? We don't go out and do high volume right in the first day type thing. We're trying to prep our body so it gets a little bit higher volume. This is my volume line. And come through and raise that up to a level. Now the problem is when you do things at high volume, give me a high volume track and field event. It's a high volume track and field event.
32.
Steeplechase.
They don't have that around the school.
In college, probably the greatest one would be 10,000. Or if you consider this an event, and track and field would be marathon. Very high volume activity, okay?
Race walk. Yes.
Decathlon.
All right.
Race
So-
Race walk.
Race walk.
Nice one. All right.
Even the coach left.
That's so be careful now. I saw a couple guys walking out here.
High volume meaning we gradually build up our volume to the point so that our body preps ourselves. What we're trying to do is increase our capillaries in our muscles so we get more blood flow, et cetera, et cetera. We're also trying during that time to give ourselves our body ready to handle the next load. I'll give you an example. When we get to weights a little bit. When we start off in weights training, I like to start off. First, what I usually do with weights is I start off with circuit weights, okay, and then I go to very general activity. And a lot of my weights in the first little while, actually first couple of weeks, we do a lot of what we call body weight work. Push-ups, pull-up, these things without weights.
Your circuit.
Circuit type things, you know. And then in the weight room, we may do some circuits where we just go from place to place. The reason we do that, and I found a lot more success with this, is we're trying to get the body a little bit of endurance, a little preparation. So the intensity is extremely low, but the volume start slowly, we get used to a little volume increase, very low volume, and we come through the. But the big thing I found was a lot of you athletes, you guys are out here, and how many of you are sore as can be out here? Okay?
Don't lie.
Okay?
That's not absolutely.
You guys are pretty sore out here. It's getting used to, I found out that I have to kind of take people and just get their body used to their body. Get used to basic low volume thing. Get used to it again. Get used to doing things in the early part of it. So I keep lowering each year. My first week training gets easier and easier every year because I'm trying to gradually build them through that. My first days in practice, usually we do some light sprint drills, and then we start building ourselves into some circuit work and other things. I want to make sure all those different parts together. All we're trying to develop is a little bit of endurance and get our body ready.
How long do you usually do the just your body weight?
How many weeks? How long?
Yeah.
Probably about 2 weeks. Okay, and it kind of fluctuates in. Okay, probably about 2 weeks. Okay. Then I go from that. I may start moving myself into some regular weight training at higher reps. Okay. And so what we may do there, and really everything I do, running and all those things kind of follow this fashion as well, other training. So we're going to do weight training with higher reps. We may do some I like general stuff. Now for some of you, I can skip the circuit or other things. You're already in shape, you're already ready, you can handle things. But I kind of take my group to this, regardless of what they did during the summer, we kind of use this as kind of, for those that have trained hard through the summer, we use it as a regeneration time, change the activity and do things. And for those that haven't worked, it allows them to build their body back to where they're supposed to be. So we're here. Then we start doing some higher reps, maybe 3 sets of stuff, working general stuff here. Basic general stuff. And also that's a time when we start working on our technique of our lifts as well.
Like bench, squat, cleans.
Very basic, yeah. And cleans, we're probably at a point right there where we're just being very, very low weight, extremely technical. Because cleans are a very high intense activity. And we're trying to, again, rejuvenate the body, teach it how to do things, get it used to all those movements. This is a time too where what we're trying to do is get the body sore. We're getting it really sore, but we don't want to injure it by adding too many intense activities in there so that our body starts getting, we get injuries at that time, but also we're trying to prep it slowly. The rule of thumb here, and I have a big philosophy, when it comes to training, when it comes to learning anything, is I call it the tortoise principle. Okay? Slow, you guys know the tortoise versus the hare? Okay? What's the moral of the story?
One steady wins the race.
That's right. One steady, slowly wins the race. Meaning, slow but sure, incremental by incremental. Don't rush things. You don't have to. If you just think in terms of just like this, a month improvement, how high is that going to be? Can be pretty significant. Just a little bit, okay? A month improvement. Now, you'll see big improvements over certain months. But in reality, slowly but surely, you're going to get there. And if you take it slow, you're going to get much better. You will get better results than trying to rush things. Here's the thing I always find. Women, I love training women because women tend to be more patient than guys. Guys want it now. Now. Here's an example. If I go in the weight room and I tell my group, we're going to do this. I have a philosophy called repetition maximum, RMs. Okay? I always love the fact that people come in, and we even do this at our school a little bit, and I don't like it, but I work with my training staff. They come in and they do max outs to test what your max weight is. Okay? So they determine how much you need to lift, how many reps at what weight to do things. Okay? Probably a lot of you do that, so they take percentage of max. But they're taking percentage of what? Single max.
We have a chart like
And
that.
some maybe do the chart max. I love that too. That's my favorite. All right, if I do 10 reps of this, that means I can lift this much.
Yeah, and I found out
That's-
BS.
There it is.
So
There
I
it
can
is.
lift like
It's like telling
350.
someone, if I can run 4 minutes for the mile, that means I can run 10 flat for the 100 meters. There is no correlate. I love it. Because our football teams all the time always, oh, our guys bench 550 pounds repetition. But you find out they never did it in a single rep. They did it doing those max charts. That's the favorite thing in football. So the thing is, I look at it more like this. I have a thing when I used to start off, and I controlled all my weightlifting. I used to have where I took my group out, and early in the training, we would do 8 rep max. Meaning, what's the best you can do for 8 reps? I considered if we were doing 3 sets of 8, let's say at bench, and we're going to finish off at maximum ability at our 8 reps, that means we would lift our heaviest weight for 8 reps there at the end. And that's how I tested my group, is what is your best 8 repetition maximum? And what was funny, the guys usually, all right, if you pick a weight and you can only do 3 reps, is that your 8 rep max? No. But most guys, when you tell them to do that, they usually pick something and puts them at 3 or 2. Most girls, when you tell them, they usually do something they can do about 10 or 12, 13, 14, 15, okay? Guys want it now. Just tell them. It's a little different. And so what we try to do is kind of reformulate them, understand what those reps actually mean. And that affects your intensity. That's a very high intense workout if you're always lifting at your rep max. Whether it's 3 rep max, 2 rep max, 4 rep max, 8 reps. That actually is a little more intense, so it's important. But the thing is, we'll do a little bit more volume, building ourselves up, working our general body, okay? Very basic, general things. We're going to work our legs, arms, legs, things that, and we'll work more at certain strength activities in terms of that. Then as we progress, we start going through more and more, we get more specific in terms of our lifts and what we're trying to do in our strength training. And as the year goes along, as the fall goes along, we pretty much hit kind of a 6-week cycle in our lifting. We'll do bodyweight light, in a couple more weeks we start going high reps, then we start moving down, and we start going lower and lower reps, and getting to the point where our intensity and our level goes up. Maybe 6, and a lot of times, then we usually do that as part of our general prep, meaning we're just trying to build pure strength during that time. Smaller emphasis on the power stuff, Olympic lifts, those type of things, but developing just good basic strength. Let me go over here real quick a couple of what we call strength things to work on. Number 1, I'm just trying to remember my stuff here. Number 1, there's so many different strengths. One reason you want to get a lot of endurance in terms of lifting is so that you can handle, all right, let's say you want to go at a high intense workout and you want to get to the point where you can bench 300 pounds, let's take an example, okay? Well, the thing is, you have to do probably 5-6 reps of bench during that workout to get to the point where you're going at a high enough lifting level. Well, that takes a lot of endurance. So you got to build some muscle endurance to get to the point where you can handle just being able to get through a workout in terms of how. But here are the different things. We have what we call absolute strength, okay? That means just your pure strength. What's your bench? What's your clean? What's your squat? Those are your pure strength levels. That's what we call absolute strength. Okay? Then we have what we call, I call it what we call relative strength. What's relative strength? Compared to your body weight. How much can you lift or do over your body weight? Okay? I've always coined a term and a thing we call gymnastical strength. What's gymnastical strength?
Body weight stuff.
Elastic strength.
Okay? What I say is that's your ability to move your body. Okay? It's great. I bench 300 pounds, I can power clean 250, and I can do 2 pull-ups. It's not too good, is it? Okay? In pole vaulting, what's the most important? Absolute strength? Relative strength?
Right in between.
Or gymnastical strength?
Relative and gymnastical can go hand in hand, though.
Very much, very much. So what's the most important?
Probably gymnastics.
Probably by far.